I like to just play from feeling instead of intellect, if you will.
Yeah. You worked with the great Australian band INXS on their track Original Sin. What are your
Yeah.
memories of working with those guys?
Man, we had so much fun and it was so organic. Um, from the moment we met, this is how strong the love affair was. So I had put out a solo album, my first solo album, which was a total failure, total flop. Um, and that record, when I listened to the test pressing, I listened to it with David Bowie for the first time. And David said to me, Nile, if you make a record for me half as good as that, I'll be the happiest man in the world. I thought that he was out of his mind because I knew right away that the record was a flop. And I had been doing too many drugs and not thinking. I was just on some kind of artistic trip. I just wanted to make the record that I heard without thinking about the audience. Um, so it was surprising as hell to me that I meet this band that I never heard of up in Toronto. I'm going up to see Hall and Oates and U2, and I'm working with this band, the Canadian band, and we go out to this place, and I run into these guys INXS, and they're singing my single from my solo album, which is a complete flop, and they're singing it back to me in 4-part harmony. I'm like going, are you kidding me? Like, how do you even know this song? This is the most obscure record I've ever put out. And you guys are like, you got it down. Like they couldn't have known that they were going to meet me. That meant that they genuinely liked it. So for me as a composer, it really touched my heart because I knew that this was an obscure record, that I was doing it for myself. But to these guys, it touched them artistically. And they told me that they used it at their sound checks to do like, they would actually sing it at sound check in 4-part harmony. I was like, what? And they did it. And I was like, okay, I guess that means we have to work together. And that's how we met. The night we met, they sang my totally obscure song in 4-part harmony. And after I finished the band that I was working with up in Canada, we worked it out where I could work with INXS.
Yeah.
Now, what was really wonderful about that is that that story wound up having a long tail because I went up there to hang out with Hall and Oates. I got Daryl Hall to sing on Original Sin, right? Totally not planned. I record with INXS in Electric Lady. We cut Original Sin. That's one take. Because what happened is the thing that made me really attracted to these guys was their drummer. Their drummer had a sound that was cutting, that was like incredible. I was like, how is this dude getting that sound on the bass drum? And then when we wound up talking, he showed me that he had a wooden beater. And I was like, damn, I got to try that. So when I recorded the band, he had his wooden beater and we're playing. And then poof, right when we finished the song, he breaks the bass drum head, right? We finish the song and like on the last note or the next to the last note, boom, breaks the bass drum head. And we spend the next few hours trying to replace the head. But of course, now at this point, it's too late. And we listened to the track and realized that it was working. And that's it. That one take is what we used. We never tried to top it. Or if we did try and top it, we didn't, and that was it.
Yeah. You kind of sent them down that dance pop road, and they continued in that vein. You must have been pretty happy where they ended up with musically, with tracks like What You Need, New Sensation.
Absolutely.
Whether you're into those tracks.
Yeah, of course. And we became, so when I say lifelong friends, you got to understand that I'm probably one of the most aloof people in the world because I work so much. So when I finish the album, I'm already on to the next project. So it's not like I don't care and I don't want to carry on my relationships. It's just that now I'm engrossed in the next record. And I always want every artist to feel like I have their best interest at heart. It's all about them. So I'm so super focused on the next project. It could feel like oh, how come Nile doesn't call us anymore? But that never really happened. And something interesting happened between Michael and I. Um, we we wound up on vacation in the exact same place, like for me, completely around the world. Like I had no idea he was going to show up there. There was no reason for him to be there. To me, it felt like an obscure resort, um, and and I couldn't believe it. I walk in and there's Michael Hutchins that I'm on, and we're in Thailand, like on Phuket Island. It was like, what are you doing here? And we started talking, and I became friends with the CEO, the person who started it, and I talked him into letting Michael and I build a recording studio. And unfortunately, you know, uh, Michael didn't live to see that day, and I put that idea off for many many years. But then the next thing you know, I don't even know how many years later, but I wound up working with the Aman group and building a recording studio in the Bahamas.
Yeah, great.